What's up everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today's video is basically my second update video from installing the pedal commander on my Toyota Tacoma. So if you missed last week's video, that will be in the description below when I installed it and had my first impressions of it. Today's video, I've gone through a full tank of gas. I did city driving, highway driving, a little bit of off-road testing as well, which you'll see later in this video. So I can really put together good feedback for you guys on what I think of the pedal commander. But before we jump into that, in last week's video I mentioned that we had a giveaway happening. I was giving away a K&N high flow air filter. So when you buy the pedal commander from Tacoma Beast, you get this for free. It's not something that fits on my truck. So I decided to do a giveaway, and I had a lot of comments from you guys on our Instagram post. So I appreciate you going over there, giving us a follow, and writing your comment. There were very cool builds that I saw in the comments, your color of your truck, what you've had done to it. There were a lot of stock trucks as well, but I have picked a winner. You should have a message from me on Instagram. You have 24 hours to respond. If you don't, I'm just gonna go to the next person in line. Again, I appreciate everyone's comments. Comment on this video, however, if you'd like to see us do another giveaway, and I'll try to come up with something, different products that we can use. I think it's really cool to engage with you guys and do things like this. For the first 100 miles on my tank, that was all city driving. So just through stop and go traffic, going through lights, going to the gym, just driving around town. And I'll have pictures up on the screen as well. I took some throughout the tank so you could see where the gas level was and the MPG that I was averaging at that time. After the first 100 miles, I did about 200 miles of highway driving, and I was going between city mode and eco mode to see if there was a difference. Now for city mode, I was in +4, and eco, I was going between -4 and +4. Eco is something that I thought would really be cool out on the highway, simply because you're already at speed, 60, 65 miles an hour, somewhere around there. And in eco mode, you have virtually no throttle response. You really have to get the pedal to halfway or more in order for it to actually get it moving. So eco mode I thought would be cool out on the highway, put it on cruise. You have very limited throttle response. It's going to give you the best possible MPG. And that was correct. However, going up slight inclines, it kind of didn't work as well as I thought. So eco mode is really, to me, really better for flat highway driving. You're going, 2 or 3 hours at a time, and you basically want to put it in cruise, put it in eco mode, just have limited throttle response. So I think that'd be a good situation for that. So I was bouncing between that and city +4. City +4 was the best mode I found to get good throttle response, but also not have the tach kind of jumping. So if I was going up a slight incline, city +4 didn't make the tach jump that much. It would go to about 2,000 RPM. One thing that I did find, however, going through these different modes, I was using cruise control as well. Not a whole lot, just for a little bit. And I found that in cruise, even going uphill, and this is still city and eco mode, the tach would jump to about 3,000 RPM. Versus shutting the pedal commander completely off in cruise, the tach jumps to about 4,000 RPM, a little bit under that, maybe 3,500 to 4,000. So I did see a slight, I don't know if you want to call that an increase, a decrease in the RPM, but that is slightly better in not jumping the RPM as much. If you own a Tacoma, you'll know they're kind of shift happy in the automatics. That is one downside that I don't like about it versus having the manual. So I did see a slight improvement in it not being shift happy, but in cruise control, it's more shift happy than you actually driving it. And then throughout my 200-mile highway driving, I was in a little bit of stop and go traffic, which kind of hurt the MPG just a little bit. But now jumping to city versus sport mode, if you're unfamiliar with the pedal commander, there's eco, city, sport, and sport plus. So city versus sport, they acted very similar no matter if you were in +4 all the way to -4, but I did feel like I had better power in city and it didn't jump as much as sport mode. So even going up a slight incline, sport mode would jump in the tach a lot more than city. It wasn't crazy, like noticeably more, but I did obviously notice it jump a little bit more. So I think city driving, or the city mode, is honestly the best one to go in. Again, unless you're cruising out on the highway in eco mode, Sport and Sport Plus. Sport Plus is way too aggressive for highway driving. It likes to jump the tach to like 4,000 or 5,000 RPM, which is obviously crazy for a truck. So between City and Sport, I think City had the best throttle response without being kind of over aggressive or a little too much. So now that we're off the pavement, there's two tests that I want to do. As you can see with this small hill that's in front of me, I want to climb it in 4-wheel low. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. While I'm doing that, I'm going to do that in two different tests. It's just going to be normal mode with the pedal commander off, and then I'm going to engage Sport Plus and Plus 4. So right now I have the pedal commander off, and basically we're just going to monitor the throttle response. So we're basically going to see how well or how efficiently I can get up this hill and not have to put down the throttle as much. And actually that walked it fairly well for normal mode, which I thought I was going to spin a lot more. It's actually pretty muddy out. So let's go ahead and switch it over to Sport Plus, all the way up to Plus 4. I have found that to be a really good location to put that. It makes it very easy to switch. Oh, so you can already see, whew, Sport Plus almost seems way too aggressive. You can hear, I'm not even tapping the gas that much, and you can hear the engine on the truck. But I really think that having the option to mess with the throttle response will really help you in off-road situations. So if you were like stuck on a log or a rock or something, and you really needed that extra oomph to get up and over it, you don't have to put the pedal, you know, like halfway down for the engine to kind of bog to get the tires spinning. Especially having larger tires like I do, you can easily just tap the throttle and get up and moving. So the second test that I want to do is a creek crossing. I've done this crossing a few times before, and so we're just going to do a down and back. I'm going to go down with the pedal commander off and then come back in Sport Plus. I'm still in 4 low as well, but hopefully you'll be able to hear, and I'll obviously give you my feedback as far as being on the throttle. I'm not really having to do much right now, but I got the pedal not halfway, but at least a good quarter of the way down, and especially trying to get out here, I've really got to kind of give it a good bit in order to get out. So it's not like I wasn't in a situation where I was stuck or anything like that. I wish I was. This is all I have to work with today, which is obviously better than nothing. Trying to explain this to you guys on like dry pavement or something. But Sport Plus now, all the way into Plus 4. See that power right there, not even tapping the throttle that much, you'd easily be able to get over like rocks and things like that if you were stuck. And that's something that I have come across, where if I'm trying to go over something where like the tires are stuck and you need a lot of momentum and you don't have a run up, basically you just have to, like, you know, get to the rock, punch it and get over it. Situations like that, it'd be nice to have better throttle response like I do right now. And so as we get out of here, ooh, the water's definitely, see, like that right there, that might be overkill in Sport Plus, but even like making it up this hill right here. So this is a perfect hill because my back left tire is on a rock right now and I'm going uphill. So I need some good momentum to get me up just like that. Now, like I said, Sport Plus is probably a little aggressive for this, but you know what? I can see a pretty good difference in not having it versus having it. So for off-road capabilities or purposes, this is pretty cool. This is, oh boy. Yeah, like I said, Sport Plus is way aggressive. For the last test, basically this is what I was trying to simulate out on the dirt. And I know I'm in a parking lot here, but this curb here is supposed to be like some kind of rock ledge, something that you're coming to off-road. I'm just gonna be in 2-wheel drive right now. And basically I want you guys to hear from the outside camera kind of the stress it's putting on the engine, trying to get up this from a standstill with, let's go ahead and shut everything off. So this is without the pedal commander, just the truck itself. And I'm at about half throttle, a little bit more than half throttle, a little bit more, a little bit more. So that's almost all the way down, and we'll just do the same thing. All right, so the back was a little bit easier to do than getting the front up off the curb there. But now let's go ahead and try it with the pedal commander and see if I don't have to go as far down on the gas pedal. So we're gonna go back up to Sport Plus again, all the way into +4, and go ahead and do the same exact test. Okay, so I actually lost a little bit of traction control. The light just flashed. Look at that. I didn't even tap the accelerator. I barely touched it. And you could hear the back tires spin just a little bit. So that's basically the main point that I was trying to get across out in the dirt, is how much response you have and the less stress the engine has. If I do this again, we are up just like that. I'm gonna go ahead and do it one more time with everything off, and I'm gonna try to do the same thing I just did. So it puts a little bit more stress on the engine. So I really like the fact that this is kind of more geared towards off-road or towing or something like that. Well guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video talking about the pedal commander. Have I seen a difference in installing this versus not having it? I really think this shines more on off-road settings, and probably if you're towing something, to have the better throttle response to get you up and moving, and then off-road going over obstacles as you saw in today's video. As far as on-road driving goes, I'm not sure if I've seen a huge difference so far, but I did get 20-30 miles more on a tank than I have in the past, which is weird to see that the MPG went up to about 18.5. I have seen 20 before using the pedal commander. So I don't know how those calculations work. Obviously, I'm going to be driving it more and going through more tanks of gas to really get a better feel for it. I think the first tank was good to get my feedback on it. So far I do recommend it. I think it's really nice to have that extra throttle response. I did get a lot of comments about this doesn't give you more horsepower or torque. I know that's not something that I ever said. It just gives you better throttle response so you can get more usable power at a lower RPM. And again, off-road, towing, things like that is obviously an advantage. So if you are in situations like that, I really think it helps. The lag in the Tacoma is pretty significant, so this definitely livens it up a good bit. But that's going to wrap it up for today. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. Give it a huge thumbs up, smash that subscribe button. Stay tuned for future videos on the Tacoma. I have a lot more plans for it this year. We also have merchandise, link in the description below, with a very cool Tacoma logo. It really helps us out, and we appreciate you guys checking out our merchandise link. But that's going to wrap it up. I'll see you guys in the next video.